Hello, everybody. This is Nick Turo, Professor of Information Technology, Computer Science, Lakeland Community College, and welcome to ITIS 1355 Security Plus and Security Essentials. Fall 2024. Okay, in this little intro video, I did recognize a bunch of names, and then I did not recognize other names for this course. So you'll see for many of you, this might be new to you. Others, this is old hat, but I'm going to walk through the course really quickly. Not spend a lot of time in getting the details, but just try to get everybody started in this curriculum. So let's go up to my screen and let's take a look at our course site. Alrighty. For those who are not familiar with me and my teaching style, I do use Blackboard Ultra. You might see other faculty members using the Blackboard Classic. Should not be a big deal. They have made some changes to Blackboard Ultra just recently, and they turned them on. They're pretty decent. You don't have to worry about them, but basically they moved this column over here. This was originally on the left side. Now it's on the right side. Not a big deal. It's going to look and feel slightly different. It should not adversely affect anything you do. For those that are familiar with the way I operate, you'll notice when you come to this course site, there's nothing there because you have to take the attendance zero tolerance policy agreement. I will talk about that. There's more videos associated with that. But the first place you want to go, and what we're going to go through, is the course syllabus. So I'm going to go to the course syllabus, and this should be any course that you take. Go to the course syllabus the first thing you do. I talk to my FYX students all the time. That course syllabus is an agreement between you and the faculty member. So let's take a look at it. Going to go to the course syllabus. My machine is horribly slow. Hopefully in the next few months I'll get a newer machine. And let's go through this. Again, please read this. I don't treat my students like it's adult story hour. I don't read things to you, but there's a couple key points that I want to point out in the syllabus so you have a better understanding on this. This course is a WSR course, which means there will be a lecture, but it will be remote lecture done through WebEx. Here is my policy. I don't take attendance. I take attendance one time, different story. I treat you with respect. I treat you as adults. I encourage you to come to those lectures, but I can't force you to come to those lectures. If you want to treat this course entirely online, it's completely up to you. But there will be a lecture basically from 1 to 2 o'clock on Monday afternoons, kind of a little bit after lunchtime there. Here's a little quote that I came across, and I paraphrased and I rewrote. I can never find the person who actually wrote the original quote, so I'm just going to take credit for it. It says, when we give each other our time, we're giving each other a portion of our lives that we can never get back. Let's work together to make this time well spent. I treat these courses very seriously. I don't want to hear, and if it happens, I want to fix it. I don't want to hear, boy, that was a waste of time. It was too much busy work. Nick was... If those ideals ever come into your head, please let me know and let's fix it. I encourage students to give me feedback, and I've worked with, again, I recognize names in the roster. I have no problem with feedback as long as it's professional and courtesy. We're in great shape, but let's not, I hate to waste your time. I guess that's the biggest thing. We got to share the time together. Let's improve what we're trying to do. There's my name. Yes, I have that PhD after my name. I don't really go by doctor or professor. Everybody just calls me Nick and things like that. That's really up to you. Concerning the PhD after my name, I've said this many times to many students. I want this to be clear. Does not mean I'm smarter than anybody. It just means I've been in a classroom a lot longer than most people, right? So that's about it. Best way to get a hold of me for many of you is through email. Normal email hours are normal work hours. So I try to respond to emails as quickly as possible between 8 and 5, 8 and 6 in the afternoon. After 6 o'clock, I've been slowing down on the email responses, but I usually do really well with emails. Office hours. There is a half an hour of remote office hour before this class, before the lecture on this class, and I have office hours on Tuesday and then a whole bunch of office hours on Wednesday. Let me be really clear on this. Office hours really belong to the student, right? If you want to talk to me about something, if you want, however that may be, please let me know. If those office hours don't work out for you, I will adjust. I've done WebEx office hours at different times based upon, what's beneficial for the student. The only thing I ask, first of all, I love pop-ins. If you want to come in on Wednesday afternoon and see how I'm doing, I really encourage that. So I really appreciate pop-ins. But I will tell you, I'm not a big fan of appointments. I know a lot of faculties are like, you got to have an appointment to come and see me. Why? But I will say the positive thing with an appointment, if you really, really need to see me about something, let's make an appointment. I will block out that time and I'll make sure that I am there and ready for that specific point in time. So appointments are important, but I don't like that you got to have an appointment to see me. If you need an appointment and you really got to talk to me, absolutely, we'll work on something. My office phone. A couple years I started this where if you call my office phone, it does direct to my smartphone. I usually don't pick up the phone if it's coming from Lakeland because when it comes, the caller ID will just say Lakeland on it. I usually, again, keep professional hours. So if you call me at 8 o'clock at night, I'm probably not going to pick up the phone. But between 8 and 6, and as long as I'm not in the class, I'm usually pretty good with picking up the phone. If I don't pick up the phone, it'll go to the voicemail. Something new, and you're going to see this over and over throughout the semester. For those of you who have been student of mine before, you know I rely a lot upon videos. I think they're important. They're an excellent way of doing demonstrations without the demonstration blowing up on you. So I rely heavily on the videos that I create. Over the summer, I have migrated almost 400 videos off of the Lakeland server and I've migrated them over to the YouTube environment. I am not an influencer. I'm not trying to make money or anything like that. What I'm trying to do is provide those videos whenever you really want them. So say you take a course with me and you like the videos, now you can watch those videos after the course. Couldn't do that before without some finagling. If you're curious about a future course that I may be teaching, the videos are there. If somebody is just curious about the subject matter and don't want to take the course, the videos are there. So there's close to 400 videos and that number is going to grow. It's on my YouTube channel called YouTube at Back from the Ether. Okay, watch the video about why I called it Back from the Ether. Course description, please read that on your own. This particular course is really the foundational course for cybersecurity and all things associated with securing a particular environment. And here's the outcomes, blah, 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 blah. All right, textbook. I rely upon the e-book from Zybooks. I just went over to the bookstore yesterday. That is the ISBN. Let me give you a friendly warning. I'm not sure. I've been working with Zybooks. I like Zybooks. Some people don't, but I tend to like it. Let me give you a friendly warning, though. If you buy the ebook online, even if you buy it from Lakeland's bookstore online, they're going to take a card, put it in an envelope, seal the envelope, put a U.S. postage stamp on it, and mail it to you. Some students have reported that it literally is taking days, like 7-10 days for those for the access code to come. Here's my recommendation. You can buy the access code directly from Zybooks. That's up to you. There is no advantage or disadvantage. The cost is about the same. But if you're going to buy it through the Lakeland bookstore, I know many of you have to buy it through the Lakeland bookstore, get in your car, drive on campus, and buy it. If you buy it online, you're running the risk of that book taking a week to 10 days to get to you, the access code to get to you. And there's not much I can do. It's Zybooks and how the bookstore sells the Zybooks code. It is required. You have to have the book. All right, grading. And again, this kind of goes to the people that have me before. I've completely have rewritten most of my courses and the grading with most of my courses where I've gone to a straight point system. Actually, it is the same grading policies and percentages from previous courses, except now you'll see the points and you can figure out the points on your own. I was being what they say too smart by half, and I was breaking things up into percentages and stuff like that. It was very confusing, and students did not know what they were currently getting. And again, that was one of the, and it was a complaint. Students were saying, I can't figure out my grade. I'm like, okay, let's fix this. Over the summer, I've rebuilt the grading. So you will know, the points that you've currently earned in the course and stuff like that. And they still balance out to the previous percentages that I used in previous courses, but there is the overall grades. All right. Because it's the books, generally speaking, and we're going to see this a bit, there's several factors or several things we could do. One is we have participation activities. That's these things here. Those are just to make sure that you're reading the content of the book. Then there's something called challenge activities. Those are also built within the chapter. And those are a little bit beefy. They take a little bit more effort. And then we do have labs. There are two types of labs now. Some of the labs are built into zyBooks. Some of the labs are NDG server labs, and you will be getting an NDG server account very, very soon. Actually, before you even watch this video, you'll have the account before you even get to this course. So it's not even very soon. You probably already have an NDG account. All righty. Let's take, here's something new in my syllabus, this whole thing about AI. I do have a video explaining my AI policy. Here's my AI policy. I generally have two policies. Policy one is you absolutely positively cannot use AI for anything. That is very restrictive. That is designed for certain courses, like if I'm teaching programming logic or Java. I don't want AI creating the material for you. Then my other policy is a little bit more open-end. For you, in this course, my AI policy is definitely more open-ended. If you want to explore AI in the cybersecurity world, absolutely, positively, I strongly encourage you to do that. I'm not aware if the exams are right now in AI. I have not found them. So it'd probably take more work for AI to answer the exam question, especially if you're dealing with the lockdown browser, which we'll talk about. But please explore AI. If you use anything with AI, any content created by AI, you still have to cite that. That's just academic honesty. So please read that, watch the video. All right, we are not going to go through every week of the schedule, but I do want to talk about the schedule in just general details. This is a 12-week course. We start these have been very successful, where we start them later in the semester. It gives students an opportunity, if they're registering late, if a course got canceled, or if a new interest pops up the first couple weeks. So this is a 12-week course, which does mean it is slightly accelerated. I was talking to my FYEX students about this. All courses are based upon 15 weeks. So if you take a 15-week course, that's a normal pace course. If you take an 8-week course, that's double the speed. That's an accelerated course. So this is a 12-week course. It is accelerated. We're going to cover 15 weeks of material in 12 weeks. And I'll be honest, I've done the 12 weeks. They work out really nice. So it's a little bit of accelerated, but it's not hyper accelerated. So you will notice in the course site, most of the assignments are going to be due on a Friday, and then exams are due on a Saturday. I do not believe, this is just my own personal policy, I'm not a big fan of the midterm and final approach, right? What if you have a bad day on a midterm? That could significantly adversely affect. The other thing is, and this is my approach, when you have a midterm or a final, you're going to have to go back and restudy material from 5, 6, 7 weeks ago. So many years ago, I started this thing where each module, basically each chapter, is going to have its own mini exam. I don't like calling them quizzes because they're a little bit beefier than a quiz, but a little bit less than one of the classic, very, very large exams. But you'll see that the assignments are due on Friday and the exams are due on Saturday. Now, I know some of you are already saying in your head, Nick, the only day I can do my homework is Saturday. Then I'm going to tell you something, I'm not being sarcastic here. Then your first week is going to be extremely busy. If you're telling me the only day you can do your homework is on a Saturday, the first week of this course is going to be real busy, because you're going to get everything for chapter 1 in that first week. And then after you take the chapter 1 exam, you start on chapter 2 on that Saturday after you've completed the chapter 1 exam. And if you want more details about that, but please just keep things going at a strong pace. What I tend to recommend to students is real simple. Start on the course material early. you should be at a minimum looking at the course material on Monday. Take Sunday off, watch the Browns, whatever. But on Monday, you begin to look at the course material, kind of get that 10,000 foot view, and then throughout the week, you're constantly working on that course material. If you wait until the very end, say you plan on Friday to do all your course material, you are setting yourself up for bad things. So, and I can talk about that in more detail. So anyways, assignments are due on Friday, exams are due on Saturday. There is no exam for week one. I do use the lockdown browser. I've been very successful with it. Other faculty have been very successful with it. It works, but I will tell you something. Please, please, please practice with the lockdown browser before the real exam. Even though I say the lockdown browser practice test, you can take the lockdown browser anytime you want, but at a minimum, take it before you take the real test. Make sure that everything works. When the lockdown browser kicks on, it's the only thing your computer will do. If you have another program running, the lockdown browser won't run. It won't let you do a screen capture. It won't let you do a print. It is a simple way of securing the exams. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to give me a buzz. So anyways, we're going to stop with the syllabus here, and let's look at the course material. First thing, again, you notice that there's nothing here. So the first thing is, after the syllabus, I have this thing called the Attendance and Zero Tolerance Policy Agreement. I've been doing this for a few years. Real quickly, there is a video with much more detail associated with this. Please watch the video. It has to deal with me reporting attendance, what the attendance and zero tolerance policy agreement is all about. So please watch that video. But to kind of expedite things, let me just go through it very quickly. I'm not going to go into grand details here, but basically, when I do the attendance and zero tolerance policy, it doesn't require the lockdown browser. I have to agree to all these different terms, and please watch the video explaining the terms. For this video, I'm just going to go through them fairly quickly. Once I've agreed to everything and once I've submitted, you don't have to download the results unless you want to. The course material will then pop up. We now see the course content. If after you watch the video and you have issues with the personal issues with the lockdown browser and you don't agree with it, please reach out to me and let's talk about it. So anyways, again, we're not going through the entire course, but let me kind of break down this course each week. I do follow the approach of having it very modular. I do follow the approach of having it in sequential order. So you're going to see these folders migrate down. When we're done with week one, I just move it down to the bottom screen. You can still have access to it, but you should always see the week one or the current week at the top. You'll also see the NDG links and things like that. I didn't put them here, but you'll see those. So anyways, if I go to week one, here's the breakdown. The first breakdown is this thing called Before You Begin videos. These are not content videos. These are videos that I believe are going to help you as a student, not just a student in my course, but a student in all the course. So some of them may be inspirational, some could be preachy, but they're just designed to help you. So, the first video is Nobody's Born with This Knowledge, and I basically talk about nobody is born with this knowledge. It's all acquired knowledge. So before you begin, the preparatory videos really are just trying to help you become a better student. It's when we get to the content that is important. And I will tell you, week one, you're going to be watching a lot of videos in week one because I break down navigating the zyBooks into a video. Not going to cover it in this video because it's going to be ad nauseum in these other videos. How to link your zyBooks, how linking zyBooks and Blackboard. Then I get into content video, and you're going to see this over and over throughout semester. You're not so much as zyBooks, but you're going to see content videos coming from me, occasionally content videos coming from someplace else. Then you get into the participation activities, you get into the challenge activities. And then after you're done with that particular area, then you're going to get into the homeworks. And week one, I just have a homework assignment where you are creating a welcome video. There's a lot that has to be done just almost administratively for week one. And then each section will have some kind of quiz. So quiz, the quiz for week 1 is just practice with the lockdown browser. It's not really great, it's just a practice. But if we take a look at week 2 real quickly, we kind of see the same thing here. We have before you begin video, how to eat an elephant, the homework. This is actually homework that is associated with the stuff that you read in week 1. So I took the week 1 material and I spread it out really over 2 weeks. So 1, you can get familiar with the course site, and 2, you can get familiar with zyBooks, and 3, you're not going to get overwhelmed into a single week. So if you run into any particular issues, you will notice that, as I mentioned before, we have 2 types of labs. We have the zyBooks lab, which are built into the books, and we have the NDG server labs, and those are going to be sporadic throughout the given course. And every lab, I do a video of me just running through the labs and showing you that they do work, and then you do run the labs. And then here's an example of a chapter exam. You'll notice that the exams are 30 minutes long. They are, they say proctored, but that just basically means using the lockdown browser. Once you start an exam, you have to complete it, right? There's no do-overs if you start it. You do it by accident one time, I kind of understand that. All right. So this was, let me get back to the talking head. This was just an intro video. I turned the course on a little bit early so you can get familiar with it. We're going to meet on Mondays, which is pretty interesting, after lunch, after 1 o'clock. Sometimes I may broadcast from my office, so you're not going to see this really pretty video type stuff. It'll just be a camera, by maybe if I'm in my office, or you'll do it here, or maybe even inside a classroom, whatever. So we will do it. I can't force you to do the WSR. I understand that, and maybe force is too hard of a word. I strongly encourage it. I strongly encourage the lecture, but if you can't make it, I completely understand it. I'm not going to commit to this because I've had problems with this in the past. I'm looking to fix those problems. But yeah, I would like to start recording those lectures. I know other faculties have had success with it. I'm going to see what I can do about that. So welcome to ITIS 1355. Please remember, office hours belong to you. I enjoy the pop-ins. And with that being said, let's go and learn something.